Today we're going to talk about motherhood and the Bjork Rune. And motherhood is a subject that most people take for granted. And they don't realize that for some people it's a very strange and bizarre subject. The idea of a loving mother, an affectionate, caring mother, is common in most cases. But there are situations where the mother might not be loving, caring. She might even be devoid of that maternal instinct. And it's not just cases of adoption. This can also happen with natural parents. In those cases, if you came from one of those, however, take heart in the fact that you still have the capacity to love and be loved. They didn't take that away from you. And so you can become better than your upbringing. The capacity's there, just use it. That's all you have to do, just use it. But one of the aspects of motherhood that's not commonly understood is the warrior goddess. And this is actually a motherhood thing. If you watch the little cat mothers in the yard with their kittens, they can be ferocious if someone comes too close to that kitten. And there was a mean little calico out there. Had two kittens, and when there's no kittens around, she's docile and she hides in the back of the yard and doesn't bother anyone. But when she has kittens, she's utterly ferocious and goes after the larger cats and chases them off. That's the strength of this mother instinct, to protect the young. And active defense is one form of it. But the other form of it is when they hide their kittens. They put them in a safe place. They try and, just like birds, they want to find a nest that's safe from predators. That's part of the warrior aspect too. Coming up with a good defensive position. We have a cat in the house named Cricket, who used to be one of the outside kittens. And Cricket likes to hide under the tub upstairs. She likes it partly because it's cool, but also because I see that it's very like when she used to be under the garage as a kitten. It's a safe place with overhead cover. And so that instinct carries on, that idea of being safe. And when she had her kittens out there, she had them under the same place where she grew up. So it's a thing that gets passed on sometimes, I guess. But this motherhood instinct is a principle that runs throughout several species, and it works pretty much the same in all of them. And it's the care of the young, the defense of the young. And another aspect of it is the warrior goddess, because the warrior goddess is always defending something she cherishes. If not her young, something of her own that she loves and cares for. And unlike the male god, warrior god, who doesn't need provocation to move out, who comes in straight, linear, and hits him hard and fast, the female goddess needs something to set her off. And it can be a threat to her young, a threat to something she loves, or even a threat to her dignity in some cases. When we look at the myths, we see Freya as a warrior goddess. We also see in the Greek myths Athena, and Athena tells us a story. Athena is a virgin goddess. And when you get something like that in the myth, there's something more to it. Athena's child isn't a physical child, it is Athens itself. And that's what the myth is alluding to. That's what we are seeing with Athena. She's defending something other than her child, something she cherishes. When the male aspect attacks, you'll notice that, as in the Tyr rune, it's a spear. It's a straight thrust, straightforward attack. But the female way of fighting, the female warrior, it's always a circular ripping attack, like a lioness. Very unique thing to discuss. Very unique thing to put together. Has two different types of attack. And we can go to the Japanese for an example. Musashi, the great Japanese strategist and swordsman, said that for soldiers he preferred the spear because it's a more aggressive weapon. Whereas another weapon, a glaive called the naginata, he said lacks that spirit of aggressiveness. And isn't it something that Japanese women are taught the use of the naginata? At one time it was to defend the home when the males were away, but they're still teaching it. They say it teaches gracefulness, but as a defensive weapon it's pretty good. Again, the difference Musashi noted. The spear aggressive, the naginata lacks that edge. It's not the thing to go out and charge and let's hit those guys. We find examples throughout the world, especially when we're dealing with a principle that may extend not only around the world, but past our solar system. May even be a universal principle in there. And motherhood looks to have more to it than just Earth and a few species. Why isn't it in all species? We don't know. Why are some individuals and species not manifesting it? Why are they sick? Are they hurt? We don't know. Science hasn't caught up to that yet, and I don't think those of us on the esoteric side of things have investigated it that well yet. More room for discovery. But we do know that the mother instinct in Bjork is part and parcel of that female warrior. And that's our discussion for today. Keep up with your work. Study hard. And maybe you'll be the one to discover, to uncover the secrets of Bjork motherhood. Why the instinct that's so pervasive is missing now and then. You might just be the one. I invite you to join the search, because the runes are a never-ending sort of road of discovery. It's really great. So have a good one today. This is Uncle Thor from the Trollwise Press.